Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE that just closed. Of course, we got the first quarter GDP print out this morning in South Africa, and the economy grew by just 0.1% quarter on quarter. This is from growth of 0.4% in the fourth quarter of 2024. In other economic data, we did get China's manufacturing PMI sinking into contractionary territory. With the tariffs, they're biting hard. The tariffs coming from the US. The auto on the day declining more than 0.25%. That largely coming from the Resources 10 complex, and actually quite surprising looking at the Resources 10 complex that was the high flyer yesterday, now being the source of the pressure on the JSE, that declining by almost 2.5%. Financial 15 is sinking by almost 0.1%, but backing that trend is the Industrial 25, eking out gains of more than 0.4%. Let's take a look at what is happening with the US markets, and those markets turning around into green territory. Of course, we did have some labor market data out of the US job openings in April, growing more than expected. Tech heavy Nasdaq leading the gains, up by almost 0.75%. The S&P 500 following in the same direction, popping by more than 0.4%, and the Dow advancing by 0.25%. Let's check in on the markets across the Atlantic, and there we also got more economic data. Inflation in the Eurozone in May surprising to the downside, cooling even below the 2% target set by the European Central Bank. A sea of green, FTSE 100 eking out a gain of more than 0.1%, the CAC 40 advancing almost 0.33%, and the DAX popping by 0.5%. Let's check in on the currency scene and start off with how the Rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Significant strength still on the Rand, remaining solid against the greenback at 17 Rand 89. The Rand against the pound at 24 Rand 19, and against the euro at 20 Rand 36. Let's check in on how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.13, pound dollar at 1.35, and the yen just below 144 against the greenback.